getting ready for some College World Series baseball, which begins tomorrow. And a couple of other things as well. These late night finishes, Barry, I just can't take it anymore. Oh,
yeah. He's John Longshore, a little bit woozy today after the San Antonio Spurs coughed up a 29-point lead in the second half in the greatest comeback in NBA Finals history for the Knicks. I am in Omaha, Nebraska, where the Troy Trojans are participating in the Men's College World Series starting tomorrow. Troy has the opening game. Trojan baseball team plays at 1 o'clock tomorrow against the Mountaineers of West Virginia. It's on ESPN as we get the College World Series started. Game 2 tomorrow, North Carolina versus Ole Miss. And it's kind of fun. We're at the Hyatt in downtown Omaha. We're about a half mile away from the Missouri River and the Iowa state line. Downtown in an area they call the Old Market, with a lot of old buildings and stuff, but they're all refurbished. It's a downtown renovation, and it's cool. You know, my wife is with me. Dee is fired up beyond belief. And we went out to dinner last night, walked around, and it's kind of cool. You see, Georgia's here, so, you're walking through there with all the ambiance and people laughing and, guys, with an open guitar case on the corner playing their guitar and throwing money into it. And then you'll hear a loud whoo, 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 and you're thinking, the heck is that? Oh, it's Georgia fan. Okay, yeah. So they're here. We've seen Carolina fan. We've seen Ole Miss fan. We've seen tons of Troy fans out here. It's 8 teams, and it's really cool. And, of course, yesterday we went out to the ballpark and everything, took a bunch of pictures, team practiced and all that. So it's a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. It's going to start tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, the electricity, the excitement, just the anticipation of getting started tomorrow. Everybody's excited, ready to go. I know I am looking forward to it. Should be a ton of fun, and certainly you bringing us the on-site action and feels and everything else that goes around it. That's got to be pretty exciting as well. I think we mentioned, I don't know if you've ever been to Omaha. I guess so. When Troy played Nebraska, I guess Gurn Senior and I were talking about yesterday. Neither one of us have ever been to the state of Nebraska. One of the few we have not been to. So certainly have never been to Omaha, so I don't really know the feel of the Cornhusker State.
Yeah, well, it is. It's about the 5th or 6th time. Troy's played Nebraska 3 times in football. Of course, I was in Omaha in 1997 when Auburn and Alabama played in the College World Series. John and I had been together for a couple of months, and then I was gone for 11 days. And John's like, "Is he ever going to come back? How long does this World Series thing last?"
Yeah, boy, no kidding.
Omaha's extreme eastern Nebraska, right across the Missouri River from Council Bluffs, Iowa, and the stadium is beautiful. It's a AAA stadium, and there's the people get into it. It's not just the stadium. There's a big fair outside. This is kind of the big deal every year in Omaha, and it looks great. You got a ton of people volunteering. You don't want for anything around here. It's really, really, really cool.
So I've always wondered why Omaha. I mean, obviously they bid for it or they started it or whatever happened many, many years ago. But as far as I know, the College World Series has always been in Omaha, Nebraska.
I bet maybe sometime way in the distant past it was somewhere else, but I've only known it's Omaha, and it's kind of grown that way, John, where you ask any college coach, hey, what's your goal this year? No, we want to get to Omaha. Hey, it's Omaha. I can't believe we're in Omaha. It's Omaha is now, the same word as the College World Series. Hey, man, I can't wait to get to Omaha. And it's really kind of grown into that. It really is all so far that it's cracked up to be. Now you got to go play baseball.
Yeah, now you got to go play.
As well. Did you and Gurn talk at all yesterday about the sellout crowd at Jordan-Hare Stadium for exhibition soccer?
We certainly did talk about it.
Yeah.
offside.
And I heard all of that. People were sending me screenshots of tweets and stuff. 88,000 fans were boisterous because they didn't get to see Auburn fail on 3 straight 3-and-out possessions on offense.
No, we did talk about
that's it. That's not the value of that.
Of course, Chris from the Hertz counter at the MGM was there.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
he was there. Way offsides. Jeff was there. Says it was the first time he's been in Jordan-Hare since the Ed Sissom play. Went, whoa, really? You had to go back for that? Ooh. But yeah, we did talk about it. And of course, Barry, I was gloating and had my chest poked out because there were 12,000 more people at Bryant-Denny Stadium for the Morgan Wallen concert than there were for this exhibition soccer match. So I certainly was gloating about that, but I did come clean. And I admitted, I kind of felt I knew about a loophole when I made that boisterous statement months ago, because I knew they were going to be fans on the field at Bryant-Denny. I did not believe there would be fans on the field at Jordan-Hare. I just didn't see that happening, which it didn't. Yeah. So I kind of, not that I'm apologizing for it, but I felt like there was a little loophole in there I needed to take advantage of.
Believe me, it's not apologizing. If John has a little something, nothing illegal, of course, but just a little friendly with his buddies about a certain game, and oh man, I'll give you 5-1. There's no way they win that game. And John happens to know that, a buddy of mine works at the hotel that they stay at, and he says the quarterback and his girlfriend got in a huge shouting match the night before, and the quarterback goes, 11 for 25 for 89 yards or something like that. And John's like, he ain't apologizing for knowing that, that's just part of it,
that's all that part. But
yeah.
So, I talked to several people that were there, and we're excited at the fact that Messi actually did get in the game, which
he did.
I did not think that would happen.
It's two things about it. Number one,
about the 70th minute, that kind of confused me. I didn't know what he was talking about, but nonetheless, Messi got on the field.
See, they time soccer different than they time football, the way God intended them to time it. That means 70 minutes in. In football, that mean like 20 minutes to go. He only came in 20 minutes to go in the game, and we're like, oh yeah, okay, I get that. But no, he played in the 70 minute. That means 70 minutes have gone by. Who wants to look back? You look for only 20 minutes are in front of us, not. Man, 70 minutes are behind us. There's a couple of things. I know it's true. Messi did get in. I know it's true that Messi scored a goal. Everybody was talking about, oh my gosh, what an alternate universe. Lionel Messi scores a goal at Jordan-Hare Stadium. There are reports that Messi was seen at the Buc-ee's in Auburn.
My wife told me that last night. I don't know how this came up, but she mentioned
Messi was at Buc-ee's.
I don't know if she knew what team it was, or maybe it was both teams.
Right.
Or I don't even know if she knew that Messi was on the team that went to Buc-ee's, but she goes, hey, did you hear those soccer teams went to Buc-ee's? And I went, what? So, they got them some, what are they called? Beef jerky nuggets or something? What are those things?
I would have
not
been
something.
Yeah, the beaver nuggets. I would not have been more surprised if they had said, "Hey, I saw Lionel Messi at King Kong Buffet number 2 in Auburn." Something like that.
Unfortunately,
what kind of an alternate universe is it where the world's most famous soccer player is out there hanging out middle of the night at Buc-ee's on off I-85 in Auburn, Alabama? That's weird.
Yeah, everybody wants a little Buc-ee's. No doubt about that. So, I did hear that. I will say this also, Barry, as I was having lunch with Colin Cowherd yesterday, at the bottom of the hour, they go into this little thing where his sidekick goes through all the latest and greatest sports stories of the day.
Yeah.
And they showed clips of Messi in Auburn.
So
and they
weird.
did seem a little stunned maybe that the game was being played in Auburn, Alabama at Jordan-Hare Stadium. They kind of made a comment that kind of came across that way.
Let me guess. They were a little snide, weren't they? They were a little like, here's Lionel Messi, maybe the most famous person in the world, certainly the most famous athlete in the world. What's he doing in Auburn, Alabama, or something like that? Like it's Hooterville, or it's like, who was it? That famous rock star? No, the famous rock band who accidentally got shipwrecked on Gilligan's Island, and all that kind of, like, what are they doing there? What's Messi doing in Auburn? Something like that.
Was that the episode when the Chinese guy came in the submarine with the big Coke bottle glasses?
No, he was a Japanese guy, and he was the one that when Ginger Grant walked by, those big Coke bottle glasses got all steamed and everything. It's a racist caricature, but it is.
You could do that back in the day.
Not
anymore. They talked about it, showed it, but you could see Auburn logos in the background and whatnot. And of course, they showed Messi kicking that goal. I think it was a penalty kick, I believe.
It was a penalty kick.
But they talked about that and mentioned some of the other locales that they'd had some of these games. And I think attendance has been really, really, really good all around the country for these games. So,
Ty says that way offsides. Jeff said yesterday that it was the best football Jordan Hare had seen in over a decade. He didn't say that yesterday. Did he really? Did you really, Jeff?
Well, I got another on the VIP text line that Auburn fans really enjoyed it because it was a lot like their offense, low scoring.
Yeah, ending in a kick. Let's see. So that was earlier. I want to, 88,000 sellout crowd at Auburn. John, a little bit cagey. He says, hey, they're going to put people on the floor at Bryant-Denny Stadium. That's at least another 10,000.
Barry, I hope this news hasn't gotten to you. I have a feeling maybe it has, maybe it hadn't.
All right.
Robbie from Greenville yesterday. I don't know if Robbie's up yet. Probably not. And based on his chat yesterday, I know he wasn't. But it was about, I don't know, an hour and 30 minutes into the program, and Robbie probably had just tuned in, and he didn't like the fact that Gurn Sr. and I were talking about something other than Troy and Alabama in the College World Series.
Oh, yeah, he's big
about that. He
went
on to say, quit talking about all this clutter, and let's talk about the College World Series in Troy and Alabama. Now, I want the record to show that prior to that chat, probably a full hour and a half before, that's what we had been talking about.
That's Robbie,
Robbie knows how to push my buttons. True. So immediately when I read that, not that it was really just, I don't know, letting off a little steam, didn't mean it personally, didn't certainly mean it at all. But I said, Robbie, we're not going to talk about it because Troy will be home by Monday, and I hope Barry didn't pack a lot of clothes because he's not going to need them out there.
John only said that for effect. He only said that because he knows that thoroughly juiced up Robbie is the best Robbie. Robbie would have been, you can't say that. That's the Robbie John wants right there. So, so it was for effect. There's nobody who can really get Robbie going like John did. Indeed, there are times when we'd have Robbie on the phone back in the day, and, we'd be over with, and John says, man, I couldn't get him going. I couldn't do it. Maybe his meds have been centered up.
Lost my touch, but yesterday he got me. I read it, and I'm thinking, are you kidding me? But that's what's the fun part about it. So, yeah, Robbie, I hope you're early today, and looking forward to it. We're going to be pulling for him. I will say, I want to get into this when we get back from the break.
All right.
Wow, this is a shocker, Barry. Man, I did not see this one coming.
Brett from Beauregard, he says on the chat line, he says, I know it's early, only June, but why is Alabama in the load more listing of team recruiting rankings? Barry, this is another Longshore and McKnightism. You have for Alabama fans who love, and really for anybody who loves recruiting, college recruiting, and there are fewer and fewer every year. John and I came up with the top recruiting rankings according to whatever website you want, 24/7 or Rivals or whatever. You have the top 10, you have the top 25, and then you get down there where you scroll down in the listings and everything, and you get to the bottom, and it says load more, which usually meant Auburn.
Yeah.
So John called it the load more. Auburn's in load more country, It's kind of like Marlboro country. Auburn's in Loadmore country. Brett from Beauregard's asking, why is Alabama in the Loadmore listing of team recruiting rankings, where you go through whatever, the top 25 or whatever, then you have to load more? Way offsides, Jeff says, because it's only June.
That's a great response.
And I'll say this, though, Jeff, because there have been many times in like May or April when Bama fans are like, "Ooh, where are the Albs?" They're
I want to say, Barry, maybe
now all of a sudden, hey, come on, it's only June.
Maybe it was last year or the year before. Alabama was in the 30s or something. I don't know, but in a position that, whoa, what's going on here? And they ended up ranking pretty high, very high. Look,
John says that's because they had all these guys committed privately that Saban would say, hey, man, go ahead and commit. I'll tell you what, this is going to be great. Go ahead and commit to LSU. Go ahead and tell Georgia you're coming. And then when it comes to National Signing Day, then wouldn't that be great? Let's do that. And so John knew that. And John's like, just wait a minute. And all of a sudden, here comes like 8 flips on National Signing Day. And everybody be like, what in the world? Alabama, this guy had been committed to LSU for 2 months and all that.
Well, that was back in the golden era. I'm not sure that happens anymore. But I think, Kalen DeBoer and his staff have done well. I don't know why anybody would be panicking, particularly here on the 11th day of June. I've never been a big recruiting buff. I've always said, let me know what they're like 2 years after signing day. Do they contribute? Do they live up to their 5-star rating? Are they still on the team? Whatever. That's when I want to rate them and judge them, not right out of high school when everybody's all giddy and whatnot. I mean, I see some of these websites and some of these podcasts. These people are going berserk. Oh, it's amazing. Look at this. Oh, this guy's killing it on the recruiting trail. It's June.
Well, and plus 2 years later, either he's 70 pounds heavier and has eaten himself out of a scholarship, or he's really, really good in Austin, Texas, instead of in Auburn, or instead of in Tuscaloosa. Or
so, are they going to pan out? Are they going to live up to their expectations? Are they going to end up somewhere else? It's better than, I guess, not being in the game. But let me know about it once they sign on the dotted line or 18 months later, things like that. I think these programs have figured out they're going to be able to get a team on the field that's competitive and can beat you. I mean, look at Alabama. Loaded. Auburn, on the other hand, not so much over the years. Go back and think about those Iron Bowl games in Jordan-Hare. Should Alabama have ever been in those positions, hanging on for dear life, and ended up somehow winning at the end? Based on recruiting rankings between those two schools, Alabama should have gone in there and wiped the floor with Auburn every game in the last 10 years. So tell me what happened. Was it recruiting?
Coaching?
Mm-hmm. What happened in those games? Because Auburn wasn't highly ranked in recruiting, but they gave Alabama every damn thing they could handle. And
I remember coming back from a Troy game and listening to Chris and John Parker. It was John Parker. And they were absolutely, well, not Chris, John Parker, absolutely beside himself because why in the world have we not scored? They botched a field goal hold and everything. Yeah. I can't believe this is going on. They're beating us by, and then Alabama ended up winning it on the 8th overtime with Mechie making it. That's exactly what John's talking about right there.
Bama, like I said, DeBoer's been done pretty well. Maybe not at the Saban level, but he's done pretty well in the recruiting rankings. So I'm told, so I read. If you recruit as well as they do, should you be getting beat by 35 points, 17 points, 20 points? I don't think so. So don't give me this recruiting ranking business.
Well,
doesn't mean anything to me.
We were right on schedule. We had it just right, and then here comes Brett from Beauregard, and we're 4 minutes over.
I will say this, Barry. Jason Caldwell will not be with us today. He's taking a little vacation time. R&R, much deserved. Well. Yep. So Jason will join us next week, but he will not be here this week. Totally understand. Yep. So we got it kind of wide open here in the first hour before Rodney Orr joins us at the top of hour number 2.
It is Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Hey, you want your property looking its very best this spring and summer, and River Region Straw has premium long needle pine straw to make that property pop. You're not buying sticks, stems, or pine cones. You're buying premium long needle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the region, full of color that will last all season long. And now River Region Straw has a fourth location in Chelsea on Highway 280 to go along with their locations here in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn. No order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. To get your River Region Straw, drop by any of their 4 locations or give Kenny a call or text today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959, and have the best-looking property this spring and summer with straw from River Region Straw.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. If you encounter one wolf, chances are there's a pack nearby. Fortunately, the same applies to beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. To avoid going in circles, make note of recognizable landmarks, like that.
What's wrong with going in circles?
Different circles, Ross.
Okay.
Head for the mountains.
All righty, welcome back in, everybody. 21 minutes past the hour on this Thursday. Yes, as I mentioned, Jason Caldwell on a little vacation time. He'll join us next week. Certainly understand that. Hey, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Doesn't cost a nickel to subscribe. You just get instant notifications of everything that Longshore McKnight are doing, whether it's through Yellowhammer News and yellowhammernews.com, Yellowhammer News Facebook page, our Facebook page, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, X, Instagram. It's all there. And you get instant notifications. Of course, there's content that is released throughout the day. You can check that out with the notification. And tell all your friends and family to like and subscribe as well. We really appreciate it. We see the numbers growing each and every day. And we really appreciate it as we roll on with episode 452.
Can you believe that? 452. That's a lot.
Amazing.
It's our, again, John from his home studio. I am in Omaha, Nebraska, getting ready for things. We have a lot to discuss, and I'm interested in a couple of things on a national and international aspect of it. Today starts the World Cup, the largest sporting event in the world every 4 years. I can't tell you the television for it. You can tell me, I'm a doctor. No, I don't know what the television is for it, but today it's Mexico versus South Africa from Mexico City, and Korea versus Czechia in Guadalajara.
You know, just
how in the world?
That sounds like a stomach disease, man. I got Guadalajara. Ugh.
Oh, man, I've had that before. Yeah. Mexico, and I get it. South Africa, man, you got to go to Mexico to take on Mexico? I've heard Mexico at home is tough, man. You know, there's Czechia, I don't know. Those Chechians, are they Czechoslovak?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's today. Anybody planning on watching? I mean, there will be a billion people watching it across the world. And I think everybody in the country of Mexico, certainly everybody in Czechia, is.
I would think that I will probably have to check a little bit of it because there again, it's going to be on everywhere. I mean, I think everywhere you go, if you walk through a bar or restaurant or whatever, it's going to be on. Now, if you're asking me this way, am I going to plan my evening around World Cup soccer? I know this is going to be hard for people to understand and comprehend because I know there are a lot of soccer people out there. I get it. People are into soccer. It's worldwide. It's a huge thing. People going crazy. There's a better chance of me watching a 9-inning Atlanta Braves baseball game than there is of me watching a World Cup soccer game.
Whoa.
I'm just being honest with you. Just being honest.
If John had somebody with a brass knuckles poised over him and said, "You got to choose one," that would be the one John chooses.
I think so.
9 innings of Atlanta Braves game. I'm telling you, you're missing so much soccer. I mean, I love the Braves. Don't get me wrong. I love baseball, but soccer is all that. I've grown to know it and to love it. My brother works for an MLS franchise. I get to do soccer in the fall on ESPN Plus. Okay, so maybe Czechia and Korea in Guadalajara isn't your cup of tea today. What about tomorrow? Canada plays at home in Toronto versus Bosnia and Herzegovina. The USA versus Paraguay. Which do you think would be more of a shocker? That John would pick an Atlanta Braves game all 9 innings over a soccer match, or that John could put a globe in front of himself and directly point to Paraguay?
That'd be tough.
That
would be tough. Yeah.
I mean, the USA opens tomorrow in L.A. Against Paraguay. I don't know much about Paraguay. I know where it is.
It's like Czechoslovakia. It was a line in a great movie years ago, and now it's not even around anymore. Oh.
That's sad.
Czech Republic. Yes, Bill from Baltimore letting us know that on the chat line. Thank you, Thank you, there. Look, I know. Look, I'm an old fuddy-duddy, kind of set my way. Soccer was something you played in PE when I grew up. We played with a volleyball and kicked it through the goalpost on a football field.
And it was like basketball for John. You didn't kick it to somebody else. You're trying to score a goal. You're like,
oh, certainly.
I ain't kicking it to you. Why? That
I was
kind
always
of a thing.
That hung around in the back, waiting for the ball to get kicked out there, and then I just go the length of the field and kick it in the goal. I think it's called offsides in real soccer.
And you got old school. It's called offside with no S at the end of it. Yeah. It's offside. You got old school guys like John and Gurn and Bob from Pike Road and Plainsman Preston, that when you were, in your teens or in college or whatever like that, I know the only reason why you paid attention to soccer was because they made good field goal kickers.
Yeah.
That's hey, right. Wait a minute. That guy plays soccer? Okay. Has he ever kicked a football? I bet he'd be good, right? That's all it was what is that guy wasting his time playing soccer for? Man, get out on the football field.
I think back to my days in grammar school. When I use that term, my children look at me and go, "What kind of school? Grammar school?
Yeah. What are you, 150? Give me a break."
And we just, it was just something you played in PE. There was no organized soccer. You certainly didn't play soccer at the YMCA. You just didn't do it. It's kind of like it went the way of the metric system. They tried to all get us to learn the metric system. And they brought soccer around at the same time as the metric system. Obviously, soccer took hold a little bit. The metric system never did. Even though I was pretty good at the metric system, you just move little decimal points around. That's basically how it worked.
Yeah, and that's really the better way to do it. That's really the more logical way to do it. But it's like that Saturday Night Live skit with Nate Bargatze and everything. We'll measure everything in feet and yards and miles. The only time we'll use metric system is for unpopular sports like track and swimming, that type of thing. But honestly, people, could you imagine little Johnny Longshore getting out there, waking up early on Saturday morning? Hey, Dad. Hey, Mom. Our soccer match is today. Where's my shin guards? Have you got my kit? And putting on the short soccer shorts with the oversized polo shirt with the oversized numbers on the back of it. Oh, boy, here we go. I hope I get to play, left wing. And your dad's going, what in the world? That kind of thing. So,
I probably would. Couple of things have caught Tobias easy, not so fast, Tobias.
Tobias says the Daily Dog is howling. The Spurs still covered for us, which is why John's not doing the show today, banging his head against the wall. I would imagine. I didn't see the show yesterday, but I could imagine. Let's not get into that yet, Tobias.
Give me we're getting there. We're about 45 minutes away from that, Tobias. But
29-point lead disappearing. big deal. Who cares?
Also, are we running Brave Smack? Oh, love this.
Yeah. Well,
Here
first
come
of
the
all,
excuses.
Yeah, first of all, that's from Brett from Beauregard, but we're going to go a little bit ahead of Brett from Beauregard. Let's see if I can find it from somebody had said earlier that Acuna was hurt again, and the Braves not good right now. Acuna, he's such a good player, but he is injured all the time. So that was earlier, and I can't find it now.
I did see that. I know the one you're talking about. I can't find it either.
Yeah. Here you go. Yeah, this is from Daniel. Daniel says, Braves lost Acuna Jr. again and appears to have already lost its swagger. Not good. Brett from Beauregard says, who's surprised that Acuna is hurt? Again, the most overrated player in Major League Baseball. If he only misses 35 games in a year, he's had a healthy year. Go Dodgers. Yeah, he does get hurt a lot.
Yeah.
And which is weird because he goes to the plate, wrist guard, forearm guard, elbow guard. I can't believe he can swing with all that stuff on. And he still gets hurt.
Yeah,
so,
he does wear a lot of it's yellow. It doesn't even match the Braves color scheme, I believe.
Yeah, Osuna did the same thing. And you're like, well, why? Can you just get somebody with some spray paint or something? That's awful.
Bill, come on.
Bill says, now, the real question, will John still watch the Braves play without Acuna, play 9 innings over U.S. World Cup soccer? Bill, they could have the Braves playing with or without Acuna and Morgana the Kissing Bandit coming in the 3rd inning, and John still wouldn't watch that.
I will say this. If I watch the Braves, Bill, and you think that, like, say I'm watching to get to the 7th inning, you think I go, I hadn't seen Acuna in this game all night. What's going on? No. Whether he played or not, it would not register to me that he was on the field or on the DL or whatever. I would just probably watch the Braves there again if I was forced to. And I guess that's a great thing about Sports Center. I can see the highlights of these soccer matches. I don't have to sit there through the 94th minute to watch for something to happen. That's always bugged me. I got to sit there forever, and then somebody finally scores. Or they go to overtime and they have a shootout. I'm thinking, why not just start the game with a shootout? Why sit here for 2 or 3 hours with guys running around in circles and stuff and nothing happens?
You just heard that, right?
Let's put the ball right in front of the goalie and just see if the goalie can stop it.
You just heard that, right? And John's that way about a lot of sports. You just heard that. Why do they even play a game? Why do they have a game? Why do they engage in friendly competition for an extended period of time? Why not get everybody out there, kick goals for 10 minutes and then all go home? Why do we even have to play the game? When you hit a home run, why do you actually have to touch every base, including the home plate, like every other run that's ever been scored in baseball history? Why don't we? The games? I'm not interested in the games. I'm interested in the outcome. Why, do they cover? Do they not cover? Why all this running up and down the field for 90 minutes when all we really want, just get them out there, kick for 10 minutes, and everybody go home?
Think football has overtime. Basketball has overtime. Baseball has extra innings. Golf can go to extra holes in a playoff.
Right.
Hockey has overtime. Why does soccer not have overtime?
Well, they do.
Why just stick the ball? I mean, it's like at the end of an NBA game. Okay, y'all go to the free throw line, and whoever makes the most out of 5 attempts wins the game.
Well, see, in soccer, they do have an overtime, which is even more excruciating for John. Because, you play 15 more minutes or 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
You play 15 more minutes. You haven't scored in 90 minutes, and now everybody's going to really try to score in 15. That 15 minutes most of the time is wasted.
Yeah.
And then you go to the penalty kicks. And John's like, we spent an hour we spent 2 hours watching nobody score, and now all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. And
that's kind of my deal. I mean, you could have, 150 minutes of overtime. I'm not sure anybody would score. That's my problem with soccer. I think the field's too big. There's too many people standing around away from the ball.
Right.
Just not enough scoring. And then when they score, they run around and slide on their knees across the field. It's got to call grass burns or something.
Yeah.
And they're jumping around and hugging like I said, buddy, you scored one goal. It took you an hour and a half to do it. Or then somebody gets tripped up and you would think he needs to get his foot cut off. And he's out there wailing around and they're bringing a stretcher and the whole deal. Next thing you know, he's back in the game.
John's old school, man. You hit that 20-foot putt to win the hole that everybody knew you weren't going to make. John may go Chichi Rodriguez and all that, but most of the time he's going to go.
Yeah. Did anybody think that wasn't going in? Huh? Yeah.
Yeah. And you get to the next tee and you're like, who's away? Us? Oh, okay. Yeah. That kind of a thing. John ain't gonna hit a snaky little, 20-footer that breaks a couple of times and hangs on the lip of the cup before it falls, and then go running across the green and slide on his good pants across the middle of his knees and stuff like that. And that ain't
usually if I do something like that, Bear, I'm going, hey, where's the beer cart girl? It's about time for a cold one, don't you think?
If he really scolds one off the tee, he's not going, oh, my arm, and have to have, the guys come out with a stretcher and carry him off like you do in soccer. That's just not him,
If you've watched any of the 4 NBA Finals games, those guys are getting beat up pretty good. I don't see them on the floor wailing around.
Well,
I don't see a stretcher going out there to get them off the court.
That's because LeBron didn't make the finals. Believe me, if LeBron was making it, you'd see plenty of that. Oh, don't get me started.
I will say the physicality of these games has been to my liking. Maybe a little over the top, maybe, but I'm not complaining. And these refs must be blind, Barry. I don't know what they're missing because I can see it from 1,000 miles away on TV, but the refs are 10 feet away. They don't seem to see it.
Yeah. This from Ty. He says, hey, Barry, Morgana the Kissing Bandit. Kudos, Barry. Yeah. She used to come out here. She was extraordinarily, almost supernaturally well endowed.
Yeah.
And she'd come out in the middle of the field bouncing around during a game, and she'd kiss Nolan Ryan or Cal Ripken Jr. or somebody like that. And they were good sports about it and all that. And she would come to minor league parks. Of course, you had to pay her for the appearance and everything. I worked minor league baseball for a year in Greensboro, North Carolina, as the play-by-play announcer for the Yankees affiliate there. And we had Morgana the Kissing Bandit come to our little park in Greensboro. And I got my picture taken with her. She was on the air with us and everything. And afterwards, outside the stadium, I got my picture taken with her. But it wasn't a good picture. My eyes weren't on the camera. So I didn't keep the picture. But yeah, she was a very nice lady, very smart lady. But she played to her strengths in her career. I will say that. So,
all right, Barry, when we come back, I saw some numbers that kind of disturbed me yesterday. I'm going to
on the sides of the helmets?
No, those always disturb me.
Right.
What does Theotis have a problem with? What's his golf comment about here?
As soon as we talk golf, Plainsman Preston kind of fuzzes out on us a little bit. As soon as they have a playoff in golf, and Plainsman Preston's like, oh, golf. Okay,
they had one at the Memorial Day. They sure did. Had a 2-hole playoff. It was great.
That's coming out.
I saw some other numbers that kind of disturbed me. Also, Barry, I don't know if you saw it. The TV time windows for SEC football, it's all over the country for that matter, but Auburn and Alabama, along with all the other schools in the SEC, released their TV windows that they're going to be in for the upcoming college football season. I found those numbers interesting as well.
Yes, all that's topics still to come in just a moment. John is at the home studio. I'm in Omaha, Nebraska for the College World Series. Trojans play tomorrow. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316.
Summer's here, and so too are its many challenges. Heat that won't quit, beers that won't fit, hammocks that won't hammock, screen doors that appear out of nowhere, flips that flop a little too much. That's why it's important to keep it simple. Keep it cool, keep them coming, and keep it easy. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Bud Light.
Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry is an Alabama-based, family-owned and operated business that specializes in dry cleaning and laundry, serving the river region since 1941. There are 12 convenient locations across the river region. Find one close to you or call 481-1911 for free pickup and delivery. For 83 years, Central Alabama has trusted Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry. You should too.
Okay. Welcome back in, everybody. About 19 minutes to the top of the hour. As I mentioned earlier, Jason Caldwell going to join us next week. He's out on a little R&R vacation time, so we certainly understand that. Rodney Orr at the top of hour number 2.
Basically, all the sports are over with at Auburn. Everybody's on into the summer. The last event was sold out. Lionel Messi in Argentina against Iceland. Nobody will ever remember what the final score was in that match. It's just, oh, hey, I saw Messi at Buc-ee's or something like that. Recruiting's going on. Auburn is not in the Loadmore section. They're actually doing okay there right now and all that. So there's our Auburn report. That's what Jason would be talking about in much more detail than that. But Rodney, at the top of the hour, he's got a lot to talk about. Alabama. I was mentioning, being here in Omaha. I've only seen a few Alabama fans up here, and we've been out and about a pretty good bit yesterday. Tons of Georgia fans. Maybe they're at the hotel next to ours or something like that.
Yeah, I had somebody text me on the VIP River Region Straw text line wanting to know they're heading to Omaha. Wanted to know, I think you mentioned it right when we got on the air, the old market area. Market
that's
Square.
where we are, right outside. Yes.
I told him, I said, he was there last night.
Right.
So he's looking forward to that, but they're heading out that way. But Barry, it's not all sunshine and smiles because I saw this yesterday and I thought, ooh, what is it with college baseball teams in the state of Alabama? The odds makers do not like them.
Oh, yeah.
What I mean by that is, of the 8 teams that are in Omaha to compete for the national championship in the College World Series,
right?
Alabama and Troy have the worst odds to win it.
What?
The worst.
Gotta be kidding me.
The best, you probably are asking. Well, it's interesting. It's kind of a 3-way tie there. They're very close. Georgia and North Carolina at plus 275. Texas at plus 300. So those are your 3 favorites to win the College World Series. You got West Virginia up next at plus 750. Ole Miss at plus 800. Oklahoma at plus 1,400. And then the last 2, Alabama at plus 1,500 and Troy at plus 3,500. The odds makers do not like the teams from the Yellowhammer State.
I don't get it, because Alabama is a number 7 overall seed. I mean, that's overall. That's everybody. Yeah. West Virginia is a number 16 seed. Ole Miss is not even seeded, and those teams are seeded more poorly than Alabama is. But they've got better odds than the Crimson Tide does. What do people have against them?
6 more teams have better odds.
Weird. I don't get that.
I have heard a lot of people in the last 2 days talk about Georgia and just how stacked their roster is, just in terms of every position player is pretty good.
Yeah. Georgia can hit. Now, Troy's played Georgia twice. I've called the game the second game that Troy played in Athens, and they are that. I do think Georgia does. They have the best player in college baseball. His name's Daniel Jackson, and he's a catcher. He's hit 30 home runs. He's stolen 30 bases as a catcher. He's a major leaguer, no doubt, and he hit the game-winning home run in their win over Mississippi State in the Super Regional in extra innings. They've got the best player. I get that. But and they can hit it. Goodness knows. Sometimes the numbers they have offensively is because they play at Foley Field in Athens, where the ball just absolutely flies out of there. That's a launching pad there. But if I'd say Georgia is the team that has the best chance to unseat Troy on their path to the national championship.
Oh.
If Troy gets knocked out of the College World Series, which I don't anticipate, I've got Troy winning it all. Georgia would be the team that I would pick that would be most likely to do it.
Georgia's last loss was almost a month ago. They have not lost a game in almost a month.
I did not know that.
And that was to the Auburn Tigers. Hey, there's something positive about Auburn. Georgia's last loss was to Auburn, May the 12th.
So some of you smart pants out there, Auburn has beaten Georgia in something recently.
Exactly.
But the funny thing is, Georgia fans, I don't like them. Your wife is wonderful. You know, she's.
Oh, I hear you. They can get a little annoying.
Oh, yeah. You know, the barking is a little bit much. Bald guys saw grown man, totally bald. And he will have his head painted with a bulldog head on the top of his head. He'll have it for the game that they play. Don't. But there's a jillion of them out here. Of course, now Georgia hasn't played in the College World Series in forever. Alabama hasn't played in the College World Series since 1999. I want to see some more Alabama fans out here. Now, my perspective is skewed because I'm with the Troy traveling party. There's a jillion Troy fans in our hotel. It's the only team that our hotel has, and there's a bunch of us around. But it's like a lot of things kind of peculiar to Alabama athletics so far. And again, this is just me.
Yep.
I don't think the fans fully appreciate what this Alabama baseball team has been able to do under Rob Van. Same thing. I feel the same way about Oates. I will say right now, in my opinion, Nate Oates is one of the top 5 college basketball coaches currently active in the NCAA. Top 5.
Yeah.
I don't think Bama fans give him enough credit. They give him a bunch, but not top 5 credit.
I can see that.
DeBoer, everything. Alabama has had one of the greatest years across the board that they've ever had. But number one, people don't care about across the board. They care about one thing on the board. And number two, it's not that they gripe and moan at DeBoer, although they do, or gripe and moan at Oates or Rob Vaughn or Christy Curry, who they drove out of there. But I just don't think they appreciate him as much as
I think you're on to something there. I can't put my finger on it, but my personal belief is, and I felt this way for a while, they're spoiled. They were spoiled during the Bryant era. They went through a dark period between Coach Bryant and Nick Saban. There was a bright spot with Gene Stallings winning 70 games in 7 years and a national title. That was kind of a bright spot, but it was a tough period. But anyway, they got through it and Saban showed up and, here we are, we're back. It's just like the golden era of the 70s. But they're spoiled in their success, but they're also concerned because of what they've seen out of this football program under DeBoer in the last 2 years. Bob from Pike Road talks about the lack of offensive line development. I think that's a huge area that Alabama that you're going to be looking at this fall. Has it improved? Has it gotten any better? But my point being is I think they've had so much success on the field The media has certainly given them tons of attention. We'll go to the basketball game. Yeah, I guess so. Baseball, yeah, maybe not. We'll see how it plays out. I might have something else to do. I know that's a general way of putting it and trying to explain it, but I just don't, Pat Dye said Auburn people love Auburn. Alabama people love Alabama football. I think there's some truth to that.
Wow. My man's the most honest man in sports media right here. Stephen M. Which one's our favorite guy is Stephen M. Smith, but Stephen A. Smith, he ain't got nothing on this guy right here on honesty. John will tell it like it is, because I think you're exactly right. Alabama fans love the sensation of going into an opposing football stadium with the absolute mindset, John, that they are walking through the portals into the stadium. It's already got 70,000 fans in it. This group of Alabama fans, maybe it's a family, maybe it's just a group of fellas like John likes to hang out with, and they walk in there and they have this mindset that the stadium goes into a quiet hush. Look, there are Alabama fans.
Is it confident?
You don't get that whenever you walk into a basketball arena as an Alabama fan, or you don't have that self-perception.
Is it confidence or cockiness? And there again, there's been some bumps in the road. We've certainly seen them with the Boar by these losses by a large margin, which you did not see under Saban that often.
Or Bryant.
There was this feeling that we're winning this game. We're going to go because it's going to be fun to see us just embarrass this team we got to play today, whether it's home or on the road. But there was some of that maybe smugness out there. I've seen it. I've been around it. And that's fine. I mean, you've been successful, maybe you got to show it. But I think it's been so successful in football. And I've seen the growth in basketball. People enjoy it. They plan there was never a time before Nate Oates that I knew people that said, hey, man, I can't go tonight. The Tide's playing basketball at 7:30.
Hey, baby.
Really? Now people do that. Didn't used to be the case. Baseball, I don't know if I've ever heard that before. But they love the fact that their sports teams are successful. It's just kind of a bonus to the football program. Now, we want our football team to be successful. And, man, if that baseball team's successful too, man, that's great. Man,
good
way to
for
go.
Them. Yeah,
good for them.
Yeah.
But as we said, last week, somebody sent the thing of, the only team in the country, the only program that went to a college football playoff, the Sweet 16, and hosted a super regional.
And their softball
and
team
the College
World Series. Yes.
I hate to say but behind closed doors, deep down, I'm not talking message boards and all these people that are pumping it up and everything's wonderful and great.
Deep in your heart and soul.
Behind closed doors, it's like, man, that's great. But if that DeBoer doesn't get our ass in the national championship game, I'm not happy. Well, wait
what
a
about
minute.
this?
They're in the College World Series. They went to the Sweet 16. Yeah, okay, that's great. Whatever. Good for them. And I know it's a crappy way to look at it, but that's what I see.
I get the sense that some people out there who consider themselves dyed-in-the-wool Alabama fans, and they're not the only ones out there, but Alabama fans is what we're talking about. They're visiting with their buddies and saying, hey, are you going to Omaha? Man, they jack up prices, and they do around here, around College World Series. Dee and I were eating dinner last night at this really nice place on the old market, and the owner comes over and asks us how our meal was and everything. And he said, man, this is my favorite time. I've been working at this restaurant. He says, you're Troy fans. I had on my Troy stuff. And he said, you guys are at the hotel right next door. We expect to see a lot of you. I love getting a chance to meet all these people. This is great and all that. And the experience is extraordinary. But you go back to Tuscaloosa or Montgomery or Birmingham, and all those red elephants are saying, hey, man, you going to Omaha? We're going to Omaha this year. First time in 27 years. You planning on going? Man, I hear they jack up prices up in Omaha, and believe me, I hope they win. I hope they do well. Good for them if they do. Somebody tell me if they don't. But you guys realize we got to go to Knoxville and Baton Rouge this year.
Yeah.
I mean, if I blow my budget on the College World Series, I might have to only pick one this fall, either Knoxville or Baton Rouge. I can't go to both of them and the College World Series, so, man, I hope they win. I'll watch it on TV. But, man, I got to go to Baton Rouge and Knoxville this football season, and I don't want to blow all my money on
think that's a lot
watching
of
a
it.
baseball team.
I think that's a lot of it as well. I mean, we know the people in the travel business that put these things together for bowl games and college football playoffs. And there was Bama fatigue. I mean, from the 2012 Rose Bowl game against Texas when they won the that was 09. Sorry, the 09 national championship game in Pasadena. From that game, in 10 years after that, it was always something. It was either a game in Atlanta, Orlando, or Dallas to start the year. There was a college national championship game. There was a playoff game. And you're just thinking, man, I can't keep doing this. And other programs that did not experience that, they couldn't get there quick enough, couldn't make their reservation fast enough. I don't care how much it costs, I'm going. So Bama fans kind of, there again, they've been there, done that. So are they going to go to the College World Series? I know to this point, one person that's told me they're going. Now, I hadn't really solicited to see how many, taking a poll out there. If you'd like to get on the chat line and say, hey, I'm going to Omaha, I can't wait. Big Bama fan, roll tide. I've heard from one person that's going. Could be more. I'm sure there will be. But I'm sure these other schools, their fan bases are finding whatever way they can to get out there. Bama fan, let me sleep on it.
That is legit, if you ask me.
I'll say this, Barry. If Auburn was in the College World Series, I think we'd be hearing from more people that wear the orange and blue that are making their way out there.
Well, I don't disagree with you, but you also got to understand that John has that heightened sense of radar. You know, if he's walking around Old Market right now, and somebody 3 blocks away at the cigar shop, which is nice, it smells great, over there is inside over in the humidor area or whatever, 3 blocks away in an enclosed environment, and they say, War Eagle, John will hear it 3 blocks away on the other side of the old. Hey, Barry, did you hear that?
I believe it.
No, I didn't hear any. So, John's more heightened sensitivity to the Aubs than most people, than anybody I know. But I still agree with him here. If Auburn and again, Alabama hadn't been there in a generation. Auburn's been there several times since.
Because when Alabama made the Final Four in basketball, I knew a lot of people that went. I'm going to the Final Four.
Right.
This might be the only time they ever make the Final Four. If Alabama progresses through this tournament, because I'm looking at the brackets, this ain't just a weekend event. This thing lasts about a week, if not longer. If they make their way through that bracket and they're like in a position, I don't know, semifinal game or whatever, then you'll have people going out there. But going this weekend, there'll be some. But if they make it and progress and they got a chance later into next week, that's when you'll have them go out there. Is that fair weathered? Hey, why are you coming now? Why didn't you come at the start? Now I got a job. Can't come out there. Couldn't spend the whole week.
Yeah. John knows a jillion people who made their
Lyle has done it again at Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry on Vaughn Road in Peppertree. Mention Longshore and McKnight and buy any of their 3-carat lab-grown diamonds for just $999. You heard me right. Any of Marguerite's 3-carat lab-grown diamonds for just $999. Mention Longshore and McKnight to get this incredible deal all month long in June. It is Lyle's June special at Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry, open 7 days a week in Peppertree, adjacent to Chappie's Deli on Vaughn Road. Go by and mention Longshore and McKnight to take advantage of their 3-carat lab-grown diamonds for just $999 at Marguerite's, where they make it, they really make it.
All right, man, grab a Budweiser and take a knee. It is the best time of the year. It's baseball season. That means sunshine. It means behind-the-back peanut tosses. And it means sharing some cold, frosty Budweisers with your boys. Because there's nothing more American than watching America's game with America's beer. So let me ask you something. Are you ready to bring your A game? Are you ready to cheer every frozen rope down the line and amazing catch at the warning track? Are you ready for pitchers' duels and slugfests? Tell me, are you ready for the thrill of an incredible walk-off victory? I can't hear you. Are you ready for Budweiser and baseball? Then get on your feet, raise an ice-cold Bud, and let's make this season larger than life. Great times are waiting. Get some Bud!
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
This summer, Dixie Electric Plumbing and Air is on a Jurassic hunt for the oldest HVAC systems and water heaters in town. If your system is a fossil, now's your chance. Replace it between June 1st and July 31st and you could win big. We're giving $2,500 back for the oldest HVAC systems and $1,000 back for the oldest water heater. Even if you don't win, you still score major savings on your new HVAC system, water heater, generator, and or garage door. Don't let your systems go extinct. Call Dixie and it's done.
Okay, welcome back in, everybody. Glad you're with us. Rodney Orr, the Tighter Insider, going to join us here momentarily, brought to you exclusively by the Destin Connection Seafood Market. Barry, I've already gotten a lot of feedback from our viewers and listeners taking advantage of that incredible deal out at Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry,
Yes.
81623 Vaughn Road in Peppertree, adjacent to Chappie's Deli. You've heard us right, folks. We are not misspeaking here. A 3-carat lab-grown diamond, $9.99. That's right, 3-carat lab-grown, $9.99. Oval, square, cushion, diamond shaped, any shape you can think of. They've got it, $9.99, 3-carat lab-grown diamond. And we've seen them. Barry and I've seen these lab-grown diamonds. I'm telling you, they are exquisite. You cannot tell the difference. She won't either.
Yeah,
Promise
and
you
she doesn't care.
No, she doesn't.
Whether it's how it's grown or how it's there. She cares about one thing: how it looks on your finger, on her finger.
That's right.
You care about two things. Number one, making her happy, and number two, getting the best deal you possibly can. And that means Marguerite's, because they specialize in those two things, making the little woman happy at a really, really, really good price.
Yeah, whether it's a ring, earrings, a necklace, however you want to present it to her, they can handle that too. But that is an incredible deal through June at Marguerite. So make sure you mention Longshore McKnight when you go out there to get that incredible deal. 3-carat lab-grown diamond, just $9.99 at Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry, open 7 days a week. Okay, Rodney Orr here in just a moment. We're going to get him hooked up here with us, and we're going to talk to the Tighter Insider here as we do each and every Thursday. There's Rodney right there, as a matter of fact. Rodney, of course, brought to you by our good friends at the Destin Connection Seafood Market. And, of course, the freshest seafood arriving daily from the Gulf of America there to the display cases at Destin Connection. Go by and see them today. Or a lot of our viewers and listeners, Barry, they call ahead and get the Destin Connection to cook them up. A great po' boy sandwich, whether it's an oyster or fried shrimp po' boy, grilled grouper po' boy. Those sides are fantastic. Barry, I've had people comment on the tartar sauce at Destin Connection. It is homemade, just like the cocktail sauce. It is incredible. Got a little dill in it that gives it a little twang. Man, it is phenomenal, just like everything else at the Destin Connection. Go by and see them or call ahead 288-4272, and your order will be ready for pickup. Hey, Rodney, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, guys. How about the both of you?
Doing really well. I am in Omaha, Nebraska for Troy baseball right now. Gets underway tomorrow. Alabama is going as well, regardless, I think, of how anticlimactic it turned out to be because of the weather. Alabama eliminated St. John's in the Super Regional, getting 6 outs on a Monday to finally get it done. It's a really, really good season for Alabama baseball, and they're still kicking with a chance to win a national championship. And, Rodney, it's the summation of a really, really good academic year for Alabama sports.
Yeah, I mean, obviously had a lot of success, and, I took some steps in football. Obviously basketball, Sweet 16, softball did really well. and now baseball and some other sports. But yeah, it's been a great year. And I think, when you look at this baseball team, what an accomplishment for Rob Vaughn. I mean, I think he just deserves so much credit, with this team because, look, I don't think they have a great roster. I think they have a good roster, but he's really had them focused in. He's really managed this team well. They've overcome a lot of adversity, a lot of ups and downs, and had, really played well at the end of the season. So they're in a position, and I think a lot of that goes back to the way he's managed the team.
Rodney, I agree with you. Maybe their roster's not as good as everybody else's, but the way he's managed this team and built it and put it together is pretty impressive. I think you can say the same thing about Patrick Murphy's softball program, Nate Oates' basketball program, so many other sports that have been successful. But you know it as well as I do, and I see it on Tighter Insider. When's Kalen DeBoer going to get us back to a championship level? I mean, it's wonderful and great that all these other sports have done well, and I don't want to discount that because I think it's a hell of an accomplishment. But you know as well as I do, the tried – I don't want to say the tried and true, but there are so many Alabama fans that kind of have the feeling of, that's great and wonderful, and I'm happy for them, and go for it, roll tide, but dadgummit, that football team isn't where I want it to be.
Ultimately, it always comes back to football at Alabama. I mean, again, for all the success they've had, and let's be honest too, it's not like they went 6-5 or 5-6 last year in football. And I know that's not what you're implying, but
right.
The run that Saban was on kind of created some expectations, obviously, that Alabama already has had through historically, high expectations. But yes, I agree with you. I think, last year they did take some steps in football. They were 11-4. They went to the playoffs. They actually played in the SEC championship game. Then they went to the playoffs and won a playoff game on the road. So they did take steps. The question is, I think with a lot of Alabama fans, you're in year 3 now. This shouldn't be a rebuilding year. It shouldn't be a rebuilding year. It should be building on last year. And so there's a lot of question marks with this team, I think, obviously. And it's going to be really interesting to see. I think there's also a lot of potential on this team. So it's difficult to predict college football now. It's difficult to predict teams. I think there's a few teams that we could probably say Texas is going to be really good. Ohio State's going to be really good. Notre Dame's going to be really good. And Georgia's going to be really good. And after that, there's some other teams with potential. And I think Alabama's one of those teams.
Well, one of the things that I think really kind of gives or would give Alabama fans some hope, some extra hope, because I think they're going to be good, is this time of the year is really the fire that tempers the steel. People don't really realize that, but, the players are together, you're having OTAs, and some of the things that the players are doing together, you've already reported at TighterInsider.com. Some of the leaders on this team, I'm talking about the players who are leaders on this team, are really, really leading some very physical, some very intentional OTAs right now. And that's important for the growth of this team, right?
Yeah. John and Barry, that's funny you bring that up because I did post something like that late last night. And basically, I was implying, I know you don't want to hear this because we heard it last year, right? But they're having some really intense player-led practices. I'm hearing some positive things. But again, the fans don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
They absolutely don't. I need to check the responses on that, by the way, because I know that the fans, they want to, they just say, look, we heard that last summer, and then you came out and laid an egg against Florida State. So we don't want to see any more eggs laid, and we don't want to see you quit against Georgia in the SEC championship game and against Indiana in the Rose Bowl. Just show us. And I think that's where this kind of fan base is. And again, I'm not saying every fan, but obviously a lot of the fans feel that way.
Yeah, when former players, not only at Alabama, but other SEC schools go watch practice and rave about the offensive line and other aspects, and then you see them against Florida State, you wonder, what were they looking at? What did they see? So hopefully that will change. Will it change with recruiting? How is that going? I know there's been a lot of big recruiting weekends, visits. I'm seeing some of the talk, some of the news, some of the commitments. Your feelings about how that has played out over the last several weeks?
Very unique approach. Very unique kind of where we are right now, in my opinion. They have a different kind of plan. And I think that they feel like, okay, we've got a roster that we expect to return basically intact for 2027. You know, you only have 9 guys that are departing. You're going to probably have a rule added where the 5-for-5 rule, where some guys will be able to come back. And it seems to me that, hey, they're going after guys that they feel like really good about in terms of what they can contribute maybe soon, early. And after that, you know, they're filling in some holes, but they're not hot on the recruiting trail. It doesn't seem to me. I mean, they only have like a couple of guys visiting this weekend. And again, it's just the approach. I mean, I see it. I don't see them really in on a bunch of big time offensive linemen, you know, because listen, and I say a bunch, people say, well, how many are you going to sign? You have to get in. You have to get in on a lot of guys to get a couple of guys, right? I mean, numbers, sales, you have a lot of prospects to get a couple. So, I just don't see them in on a lot of, and I'm talking about big time guys. I'm talking about guys that everybody recognizes as high quality high school offensive linemen. So, or defensive linemen, they've got a few, but they're just not in on a lot in the trenches right now. And again, I understand they expect to only sign a couple of, maybe 1 or 2 high school offensive linemen and a couple of 2 or 3 defensive linemen. So it's kind of unique to me, but you know, I think they feel really good also about their opportunities if they need to fill in the portal and guys that they have coming back for the next year.
I would say the portal would be a big, because my radar is going up, Rodney, because I've heard you talk so much about how important it is to get fast, athletic, strong defensive linemen on your team. And
yeah,
I'm not hearing that.
Yeah, well, I think the one they have committed, AJ Pauly, it has a lot of potential out of Mobile. You know, he's got the frame, he's got some athleticism to him. Certainly a guy that you can see the developmental potential there. There is a kid in Mississippi that I think they've been in great position with, that I think is a fantastic high school defensive lineman, Mitchell Turner from Louisville. Now, Ole Miss is in there, Mississippi State, LSU, Texas. I don't know if any of those schools can sway him from Alabama. Not that he's committed, but I do think that Alabama identified him early, got in on him, was one of the first schools to offer him. So I think their position is really good with him. And I think Antoine Jackson out of Collierville, Tennessee, 6'5", 240. This guy's got the frame. He's going to eventually grow into a bandit defensive end. So they are in on some guys, but if you strike out on a 1 or 2 of those guys, by chance, you never know, right? Then what do you do? I just don't see the numbers there in terms of guys you've got there to kind of, okay, we're recruiting 8 to get 3. Let's just say I don't see the numbers lining up there right now.
That makes sense. Rodney's always been good about, just honest appraisal. Sometimes it's not what people want to hear, not what people expect to hear, but he's always been honest. You also wrote at TigerInsider.com about, Rodney, some of the very, very way too early magazines and projections and websites that have, as you point out, Alabama middle of the pack in the SEC, a pick in the upcoming year, between 15 and 20 nationally in some of the preseason projections. Very honest takes, 2 of them. Number one, you say you do understand that predictions mean absolutely nothing.
Right.
And you're right. But you also understand why Alabama, being very honest, is being projected as low as they have been, right?
Yeah, a lot of question marks. We've touched on those. Inexperienced quarterback. I think they had a historically bad running game. And someone questioned that, John and Barry, and said, well, I mean, Alabama's had a dominant running game forever. So bad doesn't mean bad. It just means it's not been as good. Well, no, it was pretty bad last year.
Yeah.
Minus 3 yards rushing is not good. I hate to tell you. But anyway, they've got to get more consistent there. And I think they're certainly prioritizing that. There's a reason why they brought in a new offensive line coach. And so I think they're certainly working to have a better running game. That's something that has to be really key. But I don't think right now they have a quote unquote proven high quality running back. Now, could Crowell be that? Crowell? Yes, he certainly could. Could Kevin Riley take a step? Could Daniel Hill take a step? Could AK Deer emerge? All of those guys have potential. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we're going into a season right now that we just don't know. So you got some question marks, right? And another thing, and I said this too, John and Barry. I said you can't lay eggs.
Yes, you did. Yes.
You can't lay eggs. And that means you should beat teams. The teams that you can beat, you got to beat them. You can't lose to teams that you're superior to. And that's happened 4 or 5 times over the last couple of years. And then also, I think it's important that you have that competitive spirit. And what I mean by that is when things get rough, Georgia in the SEC championship, Indiana, you can't fold. You just can't fold. So I think that, and I say that, and that's not being critical. The point of the whole thing, John and Barry, is this. These are areas that are going to be interesting to watch to see if they can take a step this year.
I think everybody's looking for that, Rodney. Yeah. Are they going to be able to take the step to do what it takes to get this football program back in a championship level? Well, I tell you where there's a championship level every day, and that's at the Destin Connection Seafood Market. And Tighter Insiders, your Central Alabama spot for fresh Gulf seafood is the Destin Connection here in Montgomery, with fresh deliveries from the Gulf arriving every day. Now, these are the last few weeks for live crawfish, so call today to reserve your sack for tomorrow or Saturday. The spicy boiled crawfish are also available, but the season ends soon, so call ahead, 288-4272. That's 288-4272 for the Destin Connection Seafood Market here in Montgomery, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Rodney, yesterday there was announced some TV windows for Alabama football. First 3, I believe, it's 11 o'clock kick, and then a couple of 2:30 games. And then it looks like the game against South Carolina at Bryant-Denny Stadium will be a night game, as will the Georgia game 2 weeks later. That's got to get the fans excited, I would imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I saw the graphic of all that. I haven't studied it in depth or anything, but I think the Kentucky game's a 2:30 game. Am I correct? That's the second game, and then the first.
That is correct.
Yeah, and they start the season with East Carolina at 11. So I think those are, if you really just sat down and thought about that on your own before they were released, that would have probably been about what you would have expected. I mean, East Carolina is not going to be a game that's going to be in that 2:30 to 6 window. Mm-mm. You know what I mean? Unless it's on. But anyway, it's about what I would have expected.
Yeah, me too. It looks like the back half of the schedule, there's more opportunities for late, afternoon or evening kickoffs, which I would expect to see. I think the Vanderbilt game was slated for an early kick, as was the Mississippi State game. That game's in Starkville, but and the Vandy game's in Nashville. But those games were earlier. But looks like Alabama's got a chance to play some games in windows that the fans seem to like more than those early games. Would you rather have an early 11 a game or that sometimes 8 o'clock kick? Which would you rather have?
Oh man, I hate the 8 o'clock kicks. That's
me too.
Because I tell you what, they never seem to start at 8 o'clock. I mean, it's 8:15, 8:30. Sometimes gets pushed back a little bit. So, yeah, no, I like the go ahead and get the thing over with. I mean, it's 11 o'clock.
Is that because we're getting older, Rodney? We were just go ahead and wonder about that.
Probably has something to do with it. Again, as a follower of college football, you follow that early game, and then you can watch all the other games the rest of the day, or at least kind of monitor those. So I think that's really something that's something that I like. But again, it is what it is.
I had somebody that texted me that is a big Alabama fan while we're talking about the upcoming season. He said, see if Rodney agrees with my statement, and he has texted me this before. Bray Hubbard has a chance to be Alabama's defensive player. Change my mind. Do you see that at all?
Defensive player of the year?
Just the best defensive player on the Alabama team this year. Bray Hubbard.
I mean, listen, I think he's a leader. I think he's a great player. I think he's probably. Here's the interesting story about Bray Hubbard.
Okay, we love that. Okay.
Okay, so Bray was committed to Southern Miss to play baseball. He was a great baseball player in high school.
You told us that he was a really good baseball player back whenever he was being recruited. You pointed that out to us years ago. Yes.
Came to a Saban camp, ran a 4.4 something 40, and Saban took him to his office and he said, "Hey, you can play for us here. We want you." And he committed to Saban, and I think a lot of people said, "Oh, why are we taking this guy that's a baseball player committed to Southern Miss?" And, but you could see the athleticism. He's a great high school quarterback, very athletic. And he's been very productive at Alabama. I mean, just a heady player. I think he's a leader. Yes, I think he can be a, standout leader. I mean, I think defensively, they have some players that can be really good, obviously. I think the secondary's loaded. He's got some young players behind him, Ivan Taylor, Zay Mincy, Jira Edwards, a true freshman. I mean, that are safety players, play safety. May not play exactly what he does, but there's a lot of talent in that secondary. Of course, Sab is back. You got Dejon Lee, Zabian Brown, Red Morgan. We could go on and on and on with the talent they have back there. Drake Kirkpatrick Jr. is a playmaker. Just get him on the field sometimes. So there's a lot of talent back there, a lot of young talent. I'll tell you a guy to watch out for, too.
All right.
A true freshman corner, Jordan Edmonds. Now, again, Alabama has a lot of experience there, guys that have played last year and the year before. And so how quickly can he get on the field? I don't know, but I know one thing. Someone I really trust told me, said, look, he reminds me of a young Patrick Surtain. And, again, a young Patrick Surtain, a Patrick Surtain coming in as a true freshman. So, and we know he started right away. So I'm not saying Edmonds is going to start, but I think he's a guy that, the way they rotate that secondary. So you could see him play quite a bit. And Jira Edwards at safety.
Oh, boy. Now that's encouraging. I like the sound of
that.
that.
They're loaded in the secondary.
Yeah.
They are loaded. Nobody recruits the secondary, in my opinion, better than Alabama.
That is very exciting. All right, World Series, College World Series baseball out in Omaha. The Crimson Tide is there. Barry, when's that first pitch for the Tide? I know you're focused on Troy tomorrow at 11. When's Bama play?
Alabama plays on Saturday. They take on Oklahoma at 2:00 Saturday afternoon.
Awesome. Rodney, I bet the Strip will be hopping. People will be watching the game at local watering holes on the Strip that don't make it to Omaha.
But you were talking about the Strip on Tighter Insider.
Right, yeah.
They'll be on that too, I'm sure.
No doubt. Maybe at the same time.
We for those who don't know, we do have a forum called the Strip. So that's what I was referring to. Yes, it'll be hot and heavy. Listen, baseball and softball have generated a lot of excitement. I mean, with the success that they've had. And, I think people are really excited about this upcoming College World Series with Alabama.
Yeah.
We've had people term, if Troy and Alabama play again in the College World Series, they call that the Freddie Kitchens Bowl, because Freddie made quite the impression on the Troy fans whenever he was on the Alabama baseball team. Back down there in the day in the bullpen.
I heard about that. And but hey, Troy's a great story.
Boy,
Barry.
It has been a lot of fun. I appreciate you saying that, Rodney. Here in Omaha, where Alabama is in, Troy is in. It all begins tomorrow. TighterInsider.com has got everything. Rodney's insights, all of the latest news. They catalog each of his visits with us here on Longshore and McKnight, and those forums. I mean, if you want to know what's on the mind of Crimson Tide fans, the easiest way is just to go to some of those forums as well, John. I cannot stress that enough.
I don't know how I live without it. I've lived with it for 30 years. It's been great.
Me too.
It's been a great 30. Rodney, how do people join? How do they subscribe? How do they become a part of TI?
Yeah, right. Just go to TiderInsider.com and you can go to the membership link there and, just sign up, submit the form, and you can get instant access with your credit card, or if you prefer, there is an address there to send a check, and that gives you all our premium information. But also, you mentioned our All Sports Forum. That's our community there of a lot of discussion, whatever the sport is, whatever's going on. If you want to know the latest on Sorsby at Texas Tech,
ooh, yes,
go to TiderInsider.com.
Yeah. You ain't kidding. Well, and as I've always said, if you want to know what's going on at Auburn, go to TiderInsider.com.
Yeah,
no doubt about it. Rodney or TiderInsider.com, brought to you locally by the Destin Connection Seafood Market. Always a pleasure, Rodney. Thank you.
Guys,
you, buddy.
I appreciate it. Take care.
You too, my man. Rodney Orr, the Tider Insider, always a great segment. We greatly appreciate his time. And as Barry mentioned, brought to you by our good friends at the Destin Connection Seafood Market. Yeah, Barry, I've had like 4 different people go, hey, man, have you had the tartar sauce at Destin Connection? I said, I have. But let me tell you, don't sleep on the cocktail sauce either. It's homemade. Yeah. It's phenomenal. Love it.
The cocktail sauce is just the right amount of it's cocktail sauce. It's a little bit of horseradish, just right. But I can't center it up. And goodness knows I've had the cocktail sauce a lot. There's just something else in there that makes it great. One of these days, I'm going to have to pull David aside and say, David, there's some sort of magic thing inside that cocktail sauce. I cannot figure it out, but it is phenomenal.
It's like the ingredients in Coca-Cola. You pretty much know what's in it. You're just not sure how much of it's in it.
David Scott over the desk, he's probably got it in some safe somewhere, with just written out on probably knowing David on a cocktail napkin and put in some safe and everything, and he doesn't ever let anybody see it and all that. But it is really, really good, especially paired with the freshest seafood that you can find. I mean, you can go out in the Gulf of America and you can catch something if you want. Or you can just go to the Destin Connection Seafood Market. It is just as fresh.
Man, I've always wondered, why am I going to reel up 400 feet of line to get a red snapper in the boat when I can just go to Destin Connection? It's sitting there in the case for me.
Right.
And my arms don't hurt. It's that simple. Okay, I know what you're saying. Where is the daily dog? Tobias kind of tipped it off a little bit earlier today. I think Tobias was happy with last night's outcome, but what a game. If you mentioned it, I missed it. It was phenomenal. We'll break it down a little bit more when we get back.
It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Well, Lyle has done it again at Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry. The Destin Connection Seafood Market at 3750 Norman Bridge Road in Montgomery has the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of America. I'm talking red snapper and grouper, all sizes of Gulf shrimp, jumbo lump crab meat and crab claws, Louisiana Bay oysters, and New Bedford scallops. They are a full-service seafood market and kitchen serving po' boys, dinners, and sandwiches. Many well-known restaurants in the river region purchase their seafood from the Destin Connection because they know it's the absolute best. Call ahead and your order will be ready for pickup. The Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Call 288-4272. That's 288-4272. Hey, you want your property looking its very best this spring and summer, and River Region Straw has premium long needle pine straw to make that property pop. You're not buying sticks, stems, or pine cones. You're buying premium long needle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the region, full of color that will last all season long. And now River Region Straw has a 4th location in Chelsea on Highway 280 to go along with their locations here in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn. No order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. To get your River Region Straw, drop by any of their 4 locations or give Kenny a call or text today. 669-5959. That's 669-5959. And have the best looking property this spring and summer with straw from River Region Straw.
Big news for Central Alabama travelers. Getting to Texas just got easier. You can now fly nonstop from Montgomery to Houston with United Airlines. No long drives, no layovers, just smooth direct travel from your hometown airport. Whether it's business or a weekend getaway, Houston is now just one flight away. Spend more time there and less time getting there. Fly nonstop to Houston. Fly MGM, where travel feels easy. Book your trip today at flymgm.com.
Got a quick thought here. Since you just heard the announcement about the new flight from MGM to Houston, John, again, I am here in Omaha, Nebraska, the biggest weekend in Troy baseball, maybe the biggest weekend in Troy athletics history. And they treat us so first class. I'm fortunate in that I am the only broadcaster in the group of five that has taken a trip to March Madness, and now I'm taking a trip with Troy to the College World Series. John, I got to say this, and this is from the heart. Both trips have originated and ended at the Montgomery Regional Airport. And the NCAA charters the flights. The NCAA says, okay, where can we pick you up at? And Troy Athletics always says, oh, Montgomery. Montgomery is the easiest for us. It's the easiest in. It's the easiest out. The people there go above and beyond for us, for sure, for large groups and really for the average traveler as well. I'm proud of the fact that the NCAA and that Troy Athletics is so well attuned to the welfare of the student athletes. There is nothing easier for our team, basketball or baseball, to make the seamless trip wherever. In basketball, it was Oklahoma City. In baseball, it's Omaha. Or really, those are charter flights, but even the regularly scheduled flights from the Montgomery Regional Airport, I've been on them many, many times. So have you. There's really nothing like it here in this area, to be sure. And I cannot overstate just how well they have treated us and our fans and our administrators and our student athletes at the Montgomery Regional Airport.
Well, Barry, I'm glad you mentioned that. I know that Troy's had a lot of success with their travels utilizing MGM, as so have, the citizens of this area in the river region and beyond, because a lot of people do come in from areas outside of the river region to utilize the Montgomery Regional Airport. And certainly the numbers are increasing. The people that are traveling through MGM have increased, and you see it by these airlines coming to Montgomery, adding destinations, adding flights. And we've been saying it for years. The more you use it, the better it gets. And of course, convenience is a big part of travel. I know price is also a big part of travel as well. And when you combine those two aspects together, there's really no other way to do it. Barry, when I travel, I'm really into convenience. I don't like snafus. I know what happens with weather, and, there can be some equipment issues and whatnot. That happens, and it happens everywhere. It happens in airports all over the country. But, when you're talking about just, man, I can zip out, zip in, parking's not a hassle. Getting through the terminal's not a hassle. And when I'm home, I am home. I'm not searching a mega parking lot.
In the rain.
In Atlanta, that's going to cost me $120 to get out of, and then I got to drive all the way back home and I'm dead tired. No, I don't want any part of that. So, yeah, people are getting it, they're hearing it, they're understanding it, and they are certainly happy and pleased with. Matter of fact, had two people I knew that were flying out of MGM in the last week. One went to Houston, the other was in Colorado Springs. And, of course, they started their journey and wrapped it all up right here at MGM. So certainly take advantage of that. It is getting better the more you use it, no doubt about it. I tell you what's getting better. I mean, I'm just saying, I know we're not in the business to toot our own horn and pat ourselves on the back. It can turn on you quickly. I'll be the first to tell you, it can turn on you quickly. But if you are keeping score, the Daily Dog is undefeated in the NBA Finals.
It is unbelievable. I do wonder in the Phantom's Daily Dog how the Phantom felt at Madison Square Garden last night. An incredible crowd, but early on, Knicks fans did not have a single thing to cheer about. Second straight time at Madison Square Garden that the San Antonio Spurs came out gunning. They were hotter than a $2 pistol, as they say. They were leading by 29. The Spurs were at New York. Yeah. Ben Stiller was ticked off. Larry David was ticked off. Spike Lee, inconsolable. The Knicks were getting played out of their arena by 29 in the second half.
I mean, Jerry Seinfeld was there on the first row. He wasn't happy.
No. I wonder how the Phantom felt.
Well, I tell you, that's a good question. And I will say, because I'm thinking in my mind, how is this going to go against me? I mean, things look good right now, but I'm thinking you got to think the Knicks are going to make a run. I mean, is it going to, finish up like I need for it to? And you're right. I mean, 29-point lead. But Barry, when the San Antonio Spurs only score 30 points in the final two quarters, I mean, they scored 41 in the first quarter, 35 in the second. They score 30 combined in the third and fourth quarter. 16 points.
There are very few people in the world today, right now, this moment, who appreciate the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah.
After dropping a 29-point lead, a late tip in by OG Anunoby with the Knicks.
Yep.
Knicks win 107-106. Spurs are now down 3-1, and believe me, they ain't going to win it. San Antonio in the third quarter led 81-52.
Yeah.
They led by 20. They led 95-75 with 9.5 minutes to go in the game.
95-75. They scored 9
to go.
They scored 9 points in the last 9 minutes. That's hard to believe.
Yeah.
Now, in the third and fourth quarter, the Knicks scored 58 points to the Spurs 30. But that last 9 minutes, you got to be kidding me. Now, look, I'm not here complaining. Neither is Tobias. All we were a little concerned about, Barry, late in that game, don't go to overtime. We don't need this game going extra frames. Don't do it.
Yep.
The tip-in was huge. It was huge for Tobias because he was catching 2.5, and the Spurs covered. Hate it that the Spurs lost. Hate it for you. But they covered the point spread, which in a lot of people's mind was much more important. But for the Daily Dog, we needed this game to go under 216.5. And if my math is correct, it went under that by 3.5 points. Oh, okay. We're all good. We'll take it.
This was the classic move when you win big at the blackjack table.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. When you win big at the blackjack table, you give a little extra to the dealer. Hey, here's something for you for the effort. This was one of those. All right, Spurs fans, you took it on the chin. Yeah, you covered, but you lost the game. Man, I do feel bad for you. I do feel bad for you, but I got to tell you, you did me right anyway. If John could, he'd give Spurs fans here a little something,
Yeah, man. I
you
know
didn't
it's
win.
Tough day. Right. Yeah, but hey, covered the spread. So a lot of folks are excited about that, as is the Phantom. 4-0 in the NBA Finals so far. Just saying. Saying.
Yep.
We're not tooting our horn, just letting you know. And we'll probably, maybe delve back into that tomorrow. They don't play again until Saturday, I believe, is the next game.
Yes, correct.
And that game is in San Antonio.
It is. And it's game 5, and Knicks may close it out then.
Could do it. You're right about that. Don't give me this. Oh, they'd rather win at home. They want to win it. They don't care where they're playing. Don't give me that. Oh, they want to win in the Garden. That'd be nice. But if they win Saturday, believe me, they're going to try to win.
Yeah.
And it's interesting here. Chris the Bammer, my wife said the same thing last night. I'm thinking,
NBA Finals is rigged.
What? Come on. No, it isn't.
When you get down to it, though, I'm not agreeing with him. But you're looking at the biggest collapses in sports history. Of course, the Falcons were up in the Super Bowl over the Patriots 28-3 at halftime. That's in there. Alabama was leading Auburn in the comeback game. What was it, 24-0, 21-0?
Something like that.
Like
Well,
that.
It could have been about 38-7 at halftime
Yeah.
if somebody hadn't dropped a wide open pass, but I don't want to get off on that tangent.
The 29-point third quarter lead by the Spurs on the road, leading by 20 with 9.5 minutes to go. That's a pretty big collapse. Yeah, this is the San Antonio Spurs new logo. That's a good one. Yeah, the Falcons and the Patriots, to me, is the all-time collapse ever. They had that game. But I can see what you're saying, Chris the Bammer, and I can see why John's wife is thinking,
and she's not a big NBA.
Because there's no other explanation for it. How in the world do you lose a 20-point lead in 9 minutes?
Yeah. It's I'm telling you, they're very athletic. They're very good. And look, all these conspiracy theorists out there about, the game's rigged, the NFL, the NBA. Look, you're telling me if something was rigged, somebody would not have been able to blow the top off of that. Some investigative journalist. Look, you can't keep that many people quiet. Never believe that. That's not going to happen. So what about today?
What about today? Yesterday, Phantom. What have you got for me now?
Foreigner, that was yesterday. I think that was
yesterday's gone. According to Lou Graham. Yes.
Yeah. So, and I actually had made this selection before somebody told us about Acuna being hurt.
Okay.
So I'm not doing this just because I heard, what was going on. But Barry, this surprised me, and I thought, it's amazing we haven't discussed this over the last couple of days. The Braves are on a 2-game losing streak. They have lost 2 straight.
Yeah, that's what one of our chatters said. They said, well, Acuna's hurt again. Braves have lost their swagger. Say it ain't so.
You know what team's beaten the Braves the last 2 outings? Those Chicago White Sox that everybody's forgotten about.
What? Okay.
Yep. Everybody's forgotten about the White Sox.
They're playing in Chi-Town. They're playing there in the south side of Chicago.
The south side, or is that where the Cubs play?
No, the Cubs are on the north side. The White Sox on the south side of Chicago in the baddest part of town.
Okay.
And if you go down there, you better just beware of a man named Leroy Brown.
Brown. Bad Leroy Brown. All right, so tonight, the Braves and the Chicago White Sox, a little interleague action, which I like. It is the last game scheduled in Major League Baseball tonight, 6:40 on Major League Baseball TV.
Yeah.
Martin Perez for the Braves. Could be Martin Lawrence for all I know.
Yeah.
Against Anthony Kay. That name rings a bell. Anthony Kay.
Don't know why. Have no idea.
I think maybe the last time I picked the White Sox, Anthony Kay was on the bump that night as well. Well,
maybe he's a left-hander.
For some reason, even though Acuna's injured, which obviously I don't know, doesn't make that big of a deal. I guess
it is a big.
The Braves are still a favorite. The White Sox are a home underdog after already beating the Braves twice. And I know what the world's thinking. There ain't no way the Braves are going to get swept. Okay, think that way then. That's fine.
Knock yourself out.
Yeah, that's the way you want to think. Go for it. But I'm taking the White Sox, who I've already had a couple of times already this year for what it's worth, as a home dog. And it is a slight home dog. They're plus 102 against the Braves tonight. This is interesting. I do want to point this out. I do like to point this out from time to time. It's all about shopping. It's all about value. And I'm looking at this game tonight, White Sox and the Braves. Yeah, okay. It has moved since I first saw it. Yeah, it certainly has.
All right.
I'm looking at all of the regulated gambling sites, regulated being a big word, from Bet365, BetMGM, FanDuel, Hard Rock, all of them out here.
All right.
There's some movement in this game. Plus 102 is where you can get it. You better get it quick because it is moving in a different direction if you catch my drift. So I just release it. What happens after I release it is not my problem. But I'm catching the Sox at plus 102, and if you want 102, you better get on it right now.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. That is the Phantom's Daily Dog, the White Sox plus 102 against the limping Atlanta Braves. Where are y'all, Braves fans? Where are you?
Well, they're limping because somebody's got a broken big toe, like Sergeant Holka, without Acuna. That's why they're limping.
Should we not be hearing from Robbie from Greenville with some excuse about, well, the Braves are hurt again and their best player's out for 2 weeks? That's what I miss. Come on, Robbie. Let me hear from you. Where's John from Wetumpka?
In this case.
I'd like to hear John from Wetumpka's thoughts about this.
Well, maybe he's still recovering from Tuesday night with Lionel Messi at the Argentina-Iceland friendly.
Is this really a question? Am I really getting asked this?
Chris the Bammer says, where do I go on YouTube TV to find Major League Baseball, John? I don't know. I don't know which will draw bigger ratings today. I honestly don't, because it's such a big deal. Braves and the White Sox tonight on Major League Baseball, or Mexico and South Africa from Mexico City in the very opening game. That's the reason why it's value. I know nobody cares about South Africa soccer, but it's the opening game of the FIFA World Cup 2026 group stage. People may be watching that instead of the Braves, who normally would be watching.
That's what we'll hear when I start throwing out those. When I start throwing out those ratings, and John from Wetumpka or something hits me with, well, World Cup soccer's going on. Yeah. Look, when the College World Series outrates Braves baseball, you got a problem.
Oh yeah, NHL going on tonight. The Golden Knights and the Carolina Hurricanes tonight. Yeah, Stanley Cup final. It's a good get, Gurn Jr. Speaking of Gurn Jr.,
real quick before we do go, Barry, I got to let you know this. I am sending you a text. This is privied information, but Range Pro has sent the ingredients for his horseradish and his cocktail sauce. That is not to be made public. So there you have it. That's how it's made. And one of the items surprises me. The other one, I kind of could detect the taste of it in there. But this is wow, man, Range Pro. I get it. I love it. Man, this is, that's where okay.
Now, this is not going to be like Raiders of the Lost Ark whenever I opened up this text like that German guy and my face is going to melt and the bright light and everything. And Indiana Jones and that girl are going to have to shut their eyes. I don't want this. Is that kind of feels like that kind of a thing.
Yeah, this is closely guarded. So Range Pro just letting the two of us get the skinny on it, but we got to keep it under our belt.
Oh, that's it. Okay, yeah, okay. Pixie dust. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. If you encounter one wolf, chances are there's a pack nearby. Fortunately, the same applies to beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. To avoid going in circles, make note of recognizable landmarks, like that.
What's wrong with going in circles?
Different circles, Ross.
Okay.
Head for the mountains.
Don't
miss your chance to win big at Victoryland Casino. Play the latest, hottest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. Don't miss out on your free play. Stop by Player Rewards today and check out this month's exciting free play promotions. Come see why our players keep coming back. You'll have more fun at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, located off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. Must be 21 or older.
Okay, here we are back at it, about 10 minutes to the top of the hour. Barry in Omaha, Nebraska, getting ready for Troy College World Series baseball.
Yep.
I'm here at Network Control. Gurn Jr. has the Victoryland 777 topic wheel in the green room. I see it warming up. There it is, getting all loose and ready to go.
All
6
right.
topics it looks like we've got today.
No clue what they are. We do know one thing about each of these topics. They're all curated and brought to you by Gurn Jr., our executive producer, and they're sponsored by Victoryland 777 Casino, exit 22 off I-85 in Shorter, Alabama, where you can be a winner too.
Yep. All right, let's spin away, see what we got. Multitude of colors as it spins around. Fool's gold.
Fool's gold. Phantom has used that before about parlays.
Yes.
Oh, wow. There's this lady in Grand Rapids. A lady was being told her Social Security funds were supporting terrorism. She was directed to buy $700,000 in gold. But a young man ended up with a bag of chocolate coins and a pair of 20-year felonies instead. They were trying to scam this lady, but good old Ben Soldat of Grand Rapids Corns, he spotted the scam, and he sent those people some chocolate coins. I used to love getting those when I was a kid, like for Easter.
Yeah, you had to kind of peel the foil back. Yeah. But
it's amazing.
Did those go the way of candied cigarettes? Never understood.
Yeah, basically those were sugar packed into the. Basically, all it was sugar packed into a stick, and you put little red dye at the end on one side and a little brown dye on the other side to make it look like a lit cigarette. And the kids be walking around looking like they're got a lung dart going and everything, and that's wrong. That's not right. You
remember the bubblegum cigars? The bulb that was shaped like a cigar?
Yeah, for those, back in the day, if you were an expectant father and you didn't smoke, you'd give all the guys at the office bubblegum cigars because, number one, they were cheaper, but number two, hey, they're unhealthy, whatever. Yeah, there we go. I'm glad they did that. It's amazing, especially old ladies and widows. It's absolutely, those people are on a straight course to Hades with that. But, how they'll fall for that stuff. Oh, wait a minute. I got to give you $700,000. Okay. It's unbelievable.
All right. Let's 5 more to go. Look at those colors. Got the dark purple working today, the yellow, the green. New deal. Did we sign a new deal? Is that about us? What is this about? Let's see.
Is this Franklin Delano Roosevelt? No. $500 million with Kansas City through 2033. John, that is $500 million if my math is correct.
Man, that's correct.
Adds 2 years. He signed a 10-year, $450 million contract in 2025. If my math is correct there, that's $45 million a year. But they restructured it. $504.75 million. I always love deals like that. Why the 0.75? Was he not going to do it if it was for like $504.7 million?
I'm with you.
No, it's got to be that extra, whatever it is, $50,000. Throw that in there too.
Yeah, what is it? Maybe is that paying for maybe one of his agents or lawyers or something? I don't know.
Personal chef or something like that.
I was wondering about how they come
I never have. It is unbelievable because I remember the story about Joe Willie Namath. Whenever they were in a bidding war when he was leaving Alabama, the NFL draft rights, I want to say it was the Cardinals or something, and the AFL swooped in. Sonny Werblin was the owner of the New York Jets at the time, and he gave Joe Willie like $600,000. And the word is, I was too young to remember, everybody lost their minds. $600,000. Nobody will ever get, but now they're getting paid $500 million.
Yeah, making 600 grand a game. Ooh, yeah.
Quarter, it feels.
Who'd have
Okay,
thought?
yeah. That's a good one there too, Gurn. Good job so far.
Yeah, really good. All right, 4 more to go. And it's going to land on.
Ooh, I thought I was going to land on cheat sheet. And boy, was that going to bring up memories for John in college. Let's see.
Kidding.
All right.
Man.
Come on,
Jeez.
man.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, this is good. PGA Pro Tour pros mental lapse. All right. What?
I don't think he signed his card.
Max McGreevy took the Adam Svensson picked up his ball marker.
Ooh.
What does that mean? You can't pick up your on the third playoff hole. Max McGreevy
knocks it down to get that third and final.
So he makes his putt, shakes his hand,
and then what?
So his opponent can't pull up his ball marker. That's a new one.
I don't know that one. But golf, John rails about baseball having so many weird. This guy right here, all of a sudden he says, "Oh, somebody tells him you shouldn't have picked up your ball marker."
Yeah, I don't understand that one. I got to look into.
All
that.
right, let's go back. Let's see if we can
Adam
figure this
Svensson.
one. All right, keep going. Here we go.
Oh, Brendel Chambly getting in on it. Let's see here.
All right.
McGreevy celebrates. Svensson reaches down to pick up his mark. He had a par putt left. Matt Wallace was also in this playoff. He'd already putted out, now being told by an official that he and Matt Wallace were supposed to play on for that first alternate spot. But when he picked up his mark, Wallace was given the first alternate. Adam Svensson, the second alternate.
Yeah, and this is a big deal. It's a really big deal. It's a good opportunity that
Adam Svensson, what are you doing, Adam Svensson?
Come on, man.
Picking
Just
up your
ask
ball
somebody.
marker. It wasn't all over. Okay. So you're not, you're not the final but you're like the first alternate. Oh no,
that's tough. Well, he'll be
Rules
thinking
of
about that
golf,
one for a while.
Gentleman's game.
It is. Yeah, got to call it on yourself. All right, 3 more to go. Let's see what we got here. Red, blue, yellow, I believe is what's left. Yep, there we have it. And we'll spin away and see which topic that we have never seen. We know you haven't seen them either. That's what makes it so fun. Bigger boat. I think that's what Al Chervik said.
No, that's what they said on Jaws when Mayor Brody not the mayor. It was Chief Brody.
Yeah.
When he saw the shark for the first time, he says we're going to need a bigger boat. New Jersey, the Meadowlands or whatever they call it now, MetLife Park, is going to be one of the many sites, and they have a pair of boats on standby to ferry soccer fans across the Hudson in case of a meltdown at the largest train station, which is North America's, which is the Penn Station. They're saying, ooh, I don't know that we're going to be able to handle it. A pair of ferries, 500 buses to help carry people in case there's an absolute, just mad rush at Penn Station.
Are they just thinking about that right now?
Made public at a Wednesday press conference. Evidently, Amtrak has had problems at Penn Station and with some of the tracks and everything because, you got to go across. Yeah. Amtrak has not been.
So here's the meeting.
Has not been
yesterday.
great lately.
Hey, I hate to bring this up to everybody, and I know we're like 2 days away from when this thing starts, but we're going to have some problems with the trains.
Yeah.
Did you not think about that a year ago? Unbelievable. All right, 2 more to go. Red and blue are left on the topic wheel. Let's see what we got left here as we spin away. Which one will it land on? What will we find out about? 5th ever? I think so. It's the 5th ever. It's the 5th time this has ever happened. What could it be?
Major League debut. Oh, this was against the Braves, too. Walk on.
Boy, this ought to be fun.
Major League debut. First time ever. Braden Montgomery. Cinderella story. Boom.
Bing.
Oh, this is going to be problems.
Yeah. Look at that crowd, will you?
Very first game of his major league career. Tears in his eyes, I guess. Bottom of the 10th with 2 outs.
Look at this guy.
Very first game, and he's only the 5th person ever with a walk-off home run in his major league debut.
That's amazing. Who's the Braves pitcher tomato can that gave that up?
Probably Iglesias. Yeah, it was Julio Iglesias.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought that guy was a singer. Julio Iglesias? Huh. With all the girls I've loved before.
Oh, please don't. Let's do that. We're almost through the show. We're gonna try to do without John singing. All right.
All right, one more. What do we got? Let's see what the last topic is here on the wheel. I didn't get to take a look at it when we were spinning it. Is the wheel already said the heck with it? We're out? Maybe so.
Maybe it did.
Here we go.
No, here we go. Here we go. One more.
It's cheat sheet. Yeah, I got to know about this. Where'd the cheat sheet go? I got to hear.
Yeah, as if you don't know everything there is to know about cheat sheets.
What do we got? We got a new way to do it.
Players to know. Of course, you got Lionel Messi from Argentina, fresh off his trip to Buc-ee's. Cristiano Ronaldo from Portugal. My favorite guy is Kylian Mbappe from France. That guy's great. Kylian Mbappe is a terrific player. He's my pick to click because he's younger, way younger than Messi, a lot younger than Cristiano Ronaldo. I like Kylian Mbappe for France. Watch him, and that's a good side that they've got in the World Cup. Who else?
Awesome.
Oh, Sadio Mane from Senegal. Yeah, he's a great player, but I mean, come on. It's Senegal.
It is Senegal. Yeah.
Senegal is like Mississippi State, They're
That's a good one.
My man Sonny. No. This is my favorite guy. Son Heung-min from South Korea. They call him Sonny because he plays for my brother's team. He plays for LAFC.
Sweet.
And he's from South Korea. And he is all that. He's the most popular person in South Korea. And my brother loves him. He's a great player. Son Heung-min. They call him Sonny from LAFC. I can tell you I didn't know that he was I knew he was good, but I didn't know he was going to be one of those guys. Yeah, Son Heung-min, love that guy. Van Dijk from the Netherlands, that's fine. But my guy is absolutely Son Heung-min from LAFC.
It's kind of like Min-Woo Lee for me on the PGA Tour. I get
everybody call him Sonny. Watch him for South Korea.
Sonny.
Love that guy. Yeah,
there you go. Song? Yeah,
that was Bobby Goldsboro, who we had a question about earlier in the week.
No kidding. There'll be Bobby Goldsboro reference. All right, so tomorrow, we want to thank Rodney Orr, the Tiger Insider, for joining us today. Everybody on the River Reading Straw chat line, email longshoremcknight@gmail.com. Tomorrow, Barry will be with Troy Baseball, as you would imagine, understandably so, with the big game at 11 o'clock tomorrow from Omaha. Gurn Sr. will be pinch hitting tomorrow on the program. And Barry, I'll be out next week in the basement, so I probably won't see you for about a week, but looking forward to our return together at that time.
I'm looking forward to hosting this program all next week from Omaha. Appreciate everybody with us here today. Rodney Orr, TigerInsider.com, brought to you by the Destin Connection Seafood Market. For John Longshore, I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.